There are two main types of ISE deployment: standalone and distributed deployment. Distributed deployments can be further classified into three types, which are small network deployment, medium-sized network deployment, and large network deployment. A standalone deployment is a deployment with a single ISE node. The single node is responsible for running all the personas. For example, the node will run administration, monitoring, policy service, and if needed, PS grid personas. Small network deployment is the smallest Cisco ISE distributed deployment. It consists of two ISE nodes, with each node running all the personas. In the table below, I illustrated two styles used in deploying ISE in small networks. Style 1. Node 1 will run administration persona with primary role, monitoring persona with primary role, and policy service persona, while Node 2 will run as a secondary admin, secondary monitoring, and policy service node. Another style is to designate Node 1 as a primary admin, secondary monitoring, and policy service node, while Node 2 will be designated as a secondary admin, primary monitoring, and policy service node. Assuming Node 1 is in data center 1 and Node 2 is in data center 2. If using deployment style 1 and data center 1 goes offline, then the admin and monitoring personas of Node 2 will need to be promoted to take up the primary role. Admin persona can be promoted manually or automatically, but admin auto failover feature is not possible in a small network deployment. Therefore, the secondary admin will have to be manually promoted. Monitoring node can only be promoted manually, irrespective of the distributed deployment type. If using deployment style 2 and data center 1 goes offline, only the secondary admin needs to be promoted, and this can be done manually. Even if the admin and monitoring nodes or personas goes offline, it won't affect network access requests inasmuch as there's a policy service persona online. It is just that without the admin persona, you can't manage the deployment and you can't make configuration changes. And without the monitoring persona, you won't be able to access live logs, reports, and troubleshooting features. In a medium-sized network deployment, the administration and monitoring personas will coexist on the same node, while the policy service personas will run on dedicated nodes. For example, Node 1 will run primary admin and primary monitoring persona. Node 2 will run secondary admin and secondary monitoring persona, while Node 3 will run policy service persona. Note that in this type of deployment, you can have up to 5 policy service nodes, but can't be more than 5. You can also deploy in another variant by combining primary admin and secondary monitoring together on a node, secondary admin and primary monitoring on another node, and can also have up to 5 nodes dedicated to run policy service personas. In a large network deployment, primary admin, secondary admin, primary monitoring, secondary monitoring, and policy service personas will all run on dedicated nodes. Note that in this type of deployment, you can have up to 50 policy service nodes.